Welcome to Is It Covered, where we break down real stories and answer the big question, is it covered? Hosted by father and son duo Bruce and Brian Chapman of the J.D. Chapman Insurance Agency. This podcast will help you navigate the world of insurance with stories, tips, and answers that really matter. From personal to commercial coverage, we've got you covered. Now, let's get started.
Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. It's another edition of Is It Covered? How are you today, Bruce?
Oh, I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing good. Good, thanks. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
So, as always, claims are so dependent on the policy that you have, the claim situation, and just the insurance company in general. So, we always advise people to go and talk to their agent and really read and understand their policy. The point of this podcast really is for us to kind of give tips and tricks and real world knowledge to folks in claims that we've seen and just kind of pass our knowledge along. So on this episode, we're going to dive into another commercial lines claims, not something we've done a whole lot of yet.
Commercial and personal, actually. It can go two ways.
That's right. I forgot. This one does a little bit of a mix.
Yeah.
Everybody likes that.
Sure.
Just like the weather outside's a little bit of a mix today.
Yeah.
So Bruce, tell me a little bit about what we're going to talk about.
So this is the mechanic's tire job, or the mechanic does work for you on your car, and something happens where they leave a bolt off, they don't tighten things properly, they don't fill the oil right, they damage your car. So in this storyline or this scenario, we'll talk about that you've changed your tires. A lot of people change their tires now into winter tires.
Yeah.
So you're bringing to your favorite shop. They're super busy. They put the tires on. Everything looks good, but man, there's 5 bolts on that tire. How am I supposed to remember to tighten all 5 of them? So maybe you do all 4, but the one is only hand tightened, and before you know it, you're going down the road and you see this little round thing going back behind your car, and holy cow, that's my tire. And you're on the ground, there's sparks flying, it's ugly. Hopefully that tire just goes into the side and doesn't do any damage. But we've actually had claims where the tires have fallen off and damaged someone else. They've gone in and ruined someone else's car, which is likely.
Absolutely.
So this is a commercial claim because it would be going back against the mechanic or the garage. And it's a personal lines claim because maybe the damage that you did to someone else, you might end up going through your own personal policy, which ultimately will go back to the garage.
Absolutely.
So, what do you think here? You got some questions?
Well, just as a real quick aside, I when I sold cars in Colorado, I was real good buddies with the guys in the mechanic shop, and this happened, right? They had someone new that they were training, didn't tighten the wheels. Well, the customer drove away, and then they drove back on 3 wheels.
They drove back on 3 wheels?
They pulled into the dealership. Like you said, sparks flying. They got out, bad words were flying. So this is a scenario that happens for sure.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
So yeah, and again, and you were starting to touch on it. It seems like this is a mix. So let's break it down a little bit.
Okay.
On the commercial side, so if you're the owner of the shop that didn't put the wheel on, right?
Yep.
What's your liability? What's your exposure?
So it would be a completed operations liability. So the completed operation is me putting the tire on, and I failed to do that properly. So it's going to cover any property damage to the vehicle that you were working on, or bodily injury that it did to me, or potentially someone else. So in the instance of a tire, obviously you're going to have all kinds of damage to the brakes and that system. I've seen accounts where they didn't put the oil plug drain plug back in properly, and the engine blew up. Those get expensive
For sure.
So as the garage owner, you kind of got to assess, is this something that I'm going to just go ahead and take care of myself? Or is this something that is pretty expensive? I need to put it through insurance and get it taken care of.
Maybe based on the severity of what happens.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that kind of covers the commercial side if you're the garage shop owner. Now, let's say I'm the person that had the wheel fall off my car.
Yep.
So am I putting in a claim on my personal insurance first, and then is my personal insurance company going to sue or subrogate back against the commercial policy?
You could put a claim in against your own insurance, and that way you'd get your car fixed fast because you take it to the collision shop or the mechanic shop, you get it fixed, you have to pay your deductible, and then your company goes against the other company, and this is where we get to use that big word, subrogation. Yeah, that's a cool word, isn't it?
Right.
Subrogation. Subrogation, what that means is that your insurance company is going to go after the other insurance company, and they're going to get all their money back for your claim, plus they're going to get your deductible back. So that's the scenario where you may want to go through your own insurance.
Gotcha. That makes sense. I know that these claims, and we've talked about doing an episode here in the future, so stay tuned for this. Something like this, if there's like a death involved, unfortunately, can go to what they call like a nuclear verdict, correct?
I guess it would depend on who passed away.
Right.
But there are nuclear verdicts, meaning they're hundreds of millions of dollars sometimes. So, yeah, I mean, any claim really could go to that point. What would really prompt that is if, let's say, there was a death involved, is the insurance company is going to look at this is kind of morbid, but the value of the person.
Sure.
So if you're a young surgeon and you have this brilliant career ahead of you and your earning potential is giant and all of a sudden you're not there, that's worth a whole lot more than if you're, Joe Schmo with your beater car. It's sad to say, but there is a value on life and how things are paid out.
Absolutely. And yeah, that's just a small teaser for maybe some future episodes where we'll go through some nuclear verdicts.
Nuclear verdicts, yes, absolutely.
So after kind of breaking that all down, what do you think? Is this a covered claim?
It's absolutely covered. I don't think there's not really a depends on there. The only thing that would make it not covered is if you didn't have insurance.
You read my mind. I was going to say that if you decided to forego the insurance, you're left holding the bag on this one.
Or another place where it wouldn't be covered is if you didn't have, I guess would that be a comprehensive claim or a collision claim on your own policy?
That's a great question.
Probably a comprehensive claim, I'm thinking. It could be collision. But if you didn't have that coverage, it could not be covered as well.
Gotcha.
But certainly the garage, I'm pretty positive most all garages are going to have that coverage. However, you may go down the street and have your neighbor help you out with that, and that poses a whole new question that we didn't even think about. I'm helping you out. I'm doing it for free, and that happens. Does my homeowner's coverage cover that?
That's a great question. I mean, there is a liability portion on your homeowner's policy, but if you were doing work for a fee, do they consider that a business?
I would say if you're getting paid to do that, no coverage because it becomes a business then.
Even the simplest of things can become a very weird insurance experience.
Undoubtedly, yeah. But, generally, hey, I'm helping my neighbor out, helping him do this. So that my gut feeling is, well, A, it depends, but I think a homeowner's policy would probably cover that. But that is a gray area.
Yeah.
So I have to recant my, it's definitely covered to there's always a depends and maybe it's covered.
All right. Well, that's good.
So we will declare this as, for the most part, it's covered.
There you go.
All right.
We got to get you that gavel.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody. And again, as always, you can reach out to us with any claim scenarios that you might have.
At Macedon@jdchapmaninc.com.
Perfect.
Yep. Thanks again.
Thanks for listening to the Is It Covered podcast. To learn more about how J.D. Chapman can assist you with all your insurance needs, please visit our website at jdchapmaninc.com or call us at 315-986-4062. J.D. Chapman, we've got you covered. This podcast provides general information only and does not offer or bind insurance coverage. Coverage cannot be changed or confirmed through this podcast, email, voicemail, or fax. Insurance only takes effect once confirmed by a licensed agent. For specific coverage details, please call us at 315-986-4062. All coverages are subject to the terms, conditions, and exclusions of the issued policy, which may vary by state. This podcast does not provide legal, tax, or financial advice. Please consult a professional for those needs. Links to other sites are provided for convenience. We don't control or endorse their content. Any claims scenarios discussed are hypothetical. Coverage decisions depend on the specifics of each case.